What up, what up? So I was thinking, I've been reading you guys' comments and I've really been finding a lot of valuable nuggets in there. And you guys really want to know about progressions. You really want to know like how to put progressions together. How am I envisioning and how am I seeing the fretboard? So I wanted to take some time out and do things a little differently. You guys say sometimes when I started getting into theory and kind of going whatever, it sounds like I'm speaking Greek or Hebrew. No offense to any of those languages. But I understand the concept. So let's just try to keep it a little bit more simple. I will just merely just kind of talk about the numbers. The numbers is just an easier way to kind of reference where the chords that we're making and kind of where we're putting our hands. So we're going to be in E flat major today. So I'm looking at this progression, 2, 4, 6. Then I'm going to go, you can call it like a flat 2, diminished E, diminished. I'm going to play it down here. 6, diminished. So like when we're talking about those progressions, how we're putting them together, I want to find stuff that's tasteful, that really syncs and flows well together, right? So as I'm playing around with this, I want to kind of bounce back and forth between the two. I like playing in the lower register sometimes when I'm playing R&B. It just allows the guitar to be a little bit more present, but then I like the high stuff too. So that even those kind of like little movements like that those little diminished moves, it's like adding just a dash of a condiment, if you will, if you're thinking about a sandwich or a meal. Just a little bit of spice, just a nice passing situation, so that way like the progression doesn't kind of stay stagnant. If you're just like trying to learn it initially, it's almost, you want to think about the analogy of jumping rope, just the timing of it, just ensuring that you're kind of getting into the right place. So let's just slow it down and really kind of focus in on really working that progression. We're not trying to do too much of the spicy, adding a whole bunch of stuff, but just some ideas, right? Some simple ideas. So we're playing through it. If we just want to work on that. That first diminished position, second. Once we get that time and we kind of like, we're in it, like we kind of know like how we're stepping, how we're jumping, we can start to flow a little bit more, right? So when we hit that diminished, we have enough time to kind of get it back and then go back to the top of the progression, right? Now the thing about when we get to our 4, there are a lot of different shapes or chord variations or inversion that you can use, right, in order to change the voicing. This is where like the fluidity in the sauce happens, right? So this is one time, this is another example of how it's important for you to start studying the different inversions of chords so you can have different options, right? So when I get to my 4, I can play a major 7 this way. I can do this. Or if you're used to this hand position, I like this one. Or get down here. Now I want to start getting into like adding a little riff here and there to kind of like change up the dynamic so it's not just sitting in the same flow. I don't want to do this every single time, but maybe every second or third time around, I want to add a little something different, so the way the progression doesn't lose its intensity and doesn't start to sound stagnant. But I want to make sure I'm keeping that unbeknownst metronome in me, that beat that kind of staying in it. So I'm going to do like some percussive stuff when I'm playing, right? That whole, like, that me patting on the strings is like that percussiveness, like keeping the snare, right? down here. Now if I wanted to add like some more stuff, I'm just kind of thinking how I could think out of the box. So I'm thinking like that melody. So knowing how to bounce back in between both positions, learn both positions and have them solid underneath your hands, so that when you're playing progressions like this, especially R&B, and if it's more of a loop, you can bounce back and forth in between both and make it feel like you're covering a lot more real estate when essentially you're playing the same progression in two different registers, right? But the tonality, most people don't know that's exactly what you're doing, but that's all you're doing. You're playing the same progression, but in two different spaces on the neck of the guitar. Lower register, higher register, same chords. They're just inversions or voiced differently. So the tip is really the trick, the tip, if you want to do the thing you should add to your repertoire, learning the chord progression where you feel most comfortable, but then challenge yourself to find where it is in another position on the neck of the guitar, then practice jumping between both. Play down here a couple times, then come down here, play down a couple times, then bounce back and forth. And what you'll do is you'll find which ones you like the most, but then how you can offset them and make it feel a lot more R&B. That's really what the trick is. That's the goal. And then starting to add like little nuances of passing chords here, a hammer on there, and then, you know, a trill or pull off here and there. That's how you start to add your different level of seasoning. So you start to sound like yourself and feel like, you know what, now I'm kind of getting a good grasp of it. The next thing is like you want to try to duplicate that in another key. Challenge yourself to play the same kind of inversion, same kind of progression, but in another key. It's going to really help you grow and strengthen that muscle in your craft. Hi there, it's Kerry. Thank you so much for watching this video. There's so much great content on this channel that's really going to help you unlock the fretboard and play the way that you've always wanted to play. So go ahead, click the subscription button and that notification bell over there, so that way you're always getting the awesome videos and the content that I drop at least once a week. Thank you so much for watching and keep on practicing. I'll see you soon.